Good morning, students. Today, we are going to start from page number 60 of your chapter number 5, that is Introduction to Coding. Before that, I will tell you that we have already learned about codings, algorithms, how to write algorithms, debugging, related things. Okay, so today we are going to start from flowcharts, that is present on page number 60. Okay, so let's start for today. The flowcharts. Neil is going to his friend Hassan's house for the first time with his father. Hassan has given Neil a set of instructions to find his house as given below. Okay, so Neil is a boy who is going to his friend's house along with his father, and Hassan is the friend who already provided Neil the directions to his house. So which are the directions or the instructions to find his house are given below. First one is go straight and take fast right. Second one, leave two left turns and take the third left. After reaching at the junction, take the right. Take the first left again and take right. Go straight till you spot a brown building on your right. So basically, this is nothing but a direction. Okay, instruction how to find a house. Okay, for example, to find a house, you just go straight and take right, then go straight for 50 meter, then go to the left side, take the uh, left. Okay, take the left turn and go to the straight 100 meters, then you will see a red color house. This was my house, this is my house. You can say it like that. Okay, so similarly here a set of instructions are given to the Neil, okay, to find Hassan's house. Hassan has also sent a map to Neil which shows the directions to his house. Which of the two will be more useful to find Hassan's house and why? There are two things given to the Neil by Hassan. First one is the instruction. Second one is the visual representation in a map. Okay, there are two ways. So according to you all, what do you think? Which one is the best option to find Hassan's house? Let's see. Often information can be conveyed in a better way with the help of diagrams. It helps the person looking at it to instantly understand the flow. Algorithms can get long and complex, and to represent them using words would not be very effective. To solve this problem, flowcharts are used. So we can understand that. So always a flowchart or a visual representation of a algorithm is always better than writing a algorithm, because sometimes it will be very difficult to convey the statement that we want to say in a statement order, okay, in a algorithm related thing, because algorithms can get a long and complex. Okay, algorithms can maybe long and complex. So in map, roads and buildings are marked by symbols. Similarly, flowcharts also have symbols that denotes what operations are being performed in the algorithm. Table 5.2 gives the symbol used in the flowcharts, their names and their use. So in 5.2, here, okay, on page number 62, it has been given that the symbol used in flowcharts. Okay, so basically in page number 61, we understand that flowcharts is more effective than algorithms. Okay, the pictorial representation of an algorithm is known as flowchart. Okay, it is easy. So what is a flowchart? The visual representation or pictorial representation of an algorithm. Okay, algorithm is strictly in a statement manner, whereas flowcharts are in order of pictorial representation or visually represented. Okay, so these on page number 62, on table 5.2, the symbols used in flowcharts are given. Let's see. So left column is for symbol, second left column, second to the this column is representing name of the symbol, and this one represents use in the flowchart. So first symbol, that is start and stop. Okay, and this symbol called as start and stop, or start or stop. Okay, start or stop. So use in flowchart. So how, in which case we use this type of symbol? An ellipse is used to denote start or end of a code. Start indicates the beginning of the flowcharts. End or stop or exit indicates the end of flowchart. So whenever we are going to write a flowchart, it always start with this symbol. Okay, this symbol. It always start with this symbol, and at the end of the flowchart, we should always put this symbol. Okay, we can write end or exit in case of stop also. Okay, next one, input or output. This symbol, it represents input or output. A parallelogram denotes both input and output. It is used to accept the input and displace the output. Okay, so this one is a parallelogram. Okay, this one is a parallelogram. It denotes input and output. Next one, this symbol represents process. Okay, this symbol represents process. So how, a rectangle. Okay, this one is a rectangle that shows the processing that takes place in a flowcharts. Okay, this one represents the processing that takes place in the flowchart. Next one, this symbol is called as decision or test condition. Okay, this symbol represents decision or test condition. Test. Okay, test, test condition. A diamond has two branches to show the decision in the flowchart. The conditions is given in the diamond. The next step in the flowchart is based on answers to the condition, that is true or false, yes or no. Okay, so this symbol is known as decision or test condition. It is represented as a diamond with two branches to show the decision in a flowchart. Okay, yes or no, true or false, because every statement has two directions. For example, if the light bulb is not working, then we can put two statements for the to work this light bulb. Okay, first one, do you click on the power on button? If yes, then repair the light bulb. If no, then power on the switch. So this also represents two ways. Next one, flow lines. Okay, this symbol represents flow lines. Arrows denotes the flow of steps in a flow chart. Okay, right, it goes, the flow chart is going to right or left, below or above. It represented by this symbol. Next one, connectors. This symbol represents connectors. Circles connect one part of the flow chart to another. This one is known as connectors. Now, let us understand how these symbols are put to create flowcharts with some examples. Okay. In this page, in page number 62, we have learned about various types of symbols, okay, which are used in the flowchart. Now, we are going to see some example for better understanding. So, to show some flowcharts, we should have some questions. So here, first question is given here. Okay, problem 1, checking if a number is greater than 10. For example, two numbers are given, one is 5, another is 10. Okay, one is 5, another is 10. Then how should we check that? There are two ways. First one is for in case of algorithm, to how to write statements, and second one is a flow chart. Okay, the visual representation of that algorithm. So in case of algorithm, what are the steps? Step 1 is take the number n from the user. Okay, take the number from the user. So which one is the number? 5. Okay, I have already provided you. We have to compare 5 and 10. So here we can write 5. If n is greater than 10, display number is greater than 10. If it is less than 10, go to step 1. So in this case, here n is 5. So we have to write the algorithm that if 5 is greater than 10, display number is greater than 10. No, okay. As we have chosen 5, so it is less than 10. So go to step 1. So take the number from the user. The answer is less than 10. So in case of flowchart, how we are going to represent it? In case of flowchart, we have to write start. As I have already told you, we should start the flowchart with this symbol, start symbol. Okay. So that's why we put start here. Next one, enter number. Enter the number. Parallelogram, input. Okay. Parallelogram, this symbol represents the input thing. So that's why we have to put 5 here. 5. Okay. Next one is decision, process. Okay. Next one is the process. If n is greater than 10, okay, as it is a conditional statement, so here decision or test condition symbol appeared. Okay. If n is greater than 10, display the number that is greater than 10. Okay. Then we should end the flowchart with this symbol. 1 minute, students. So as I have already told you, the flow chart should be end with this symbol, stop symbol. That's why we have to put the stop symbol here. So finally, to find a number that is greater than 10 or not, we can write this flow chart where we have to write this algorithm. First, we have to put start. Next one, as this one is a conditional statement, enter the number. Okay, if the number is 11, then if n is greater than 10, that this one is also a test statement related thing. If n is greater than 10, n means number. I told you the number is 11. So 11 is greater than 10. So it comes in this order. Yes. So 11 and the answer is 11. If the number is 5, then the statement goes in this order. No and the enter number. Okay. The answer is no. Second problem, deciding whether to carry an umbrella. Okay. The algorithm and the flow chart for deciding whether carry an umbrella is given in figure 5.9. Here, algorithm along with the flow chart is given. Okay, the question is whether to carry an umbrella. So what is the algorithm? Check if it is raining outside or is it cloudy. Step 2, if it is raining or cloudy, display carry an umbrella. If it is not raining or cloudy, do not carry an umbrella. Simple. If it is raining outside or if it is cloudy outside, then we should take umbrella. Otherwise, no need to take any umbrella. So how should we represent it in this one in a flow chart? So first, start symbol. As I have already told you, every step flow chart should be start with a start symbol. Next, it is a conditional statement. That's why decision or test condition related symbol should be given here. Look at here. Yes, it is raining outside or it is cloudy. If yes, then carry an umbrella and the statement should be end here. Otherwise, do not carry an umbrella. Okay, so this one is a easy algorithm already given here. I can do draw flow charts for the following: adding two numbers, subtracting two numbers, buying your favorite story book. Fourth one is a watering a plant. We can draw. Okay, we can draw. We can prepare a flow chart along with the algorithm for these four problems. Okay, this one is your task for you students. Write it down. You have to finish page number 63 is I can do related questions. Okay, before next class you should show it on to me on your on the next class. Okay.